Yo! Hi everyone, my name is Corey and I'm from Wellbeing, and I'm just giving a bit of a, welcome to the podcast, I should say. Absolutely welcome. I'm extremely excited to get started on this. Today I'm just giving a bit of an introduction and a background story, as far as on myself goes and my future goals, desires, and the impact that I'm here to bring and give to the people. And myself, got to be a little bit selfish in there too. So I just want to give you a little bit of a backstory to what I do and what I'm about basically. My whole life, I've always wanted to be, or had high expectations of myself to be I guess a total, complete, optimized, fit, mentally healthy human specimen. I've always looked up to superheroes and those that are extremely impactful, and I've always thought to myself, how can I get some of that? What are they taking? What can I do to be like that person? Especially in terms of, I look at business people, successful business people, successful fitness people. You've got successful, healthy people. You've got people with a whole bunch of freedom and money. You've got people that do motivational speaking. There is, anything that inspires someone else, you could say I just find extremely attractive, and I always have, and I've always looked up to those people. Even superheroes, even Dragon Ball Z characters, all of them. Goku, what a man. So basically look up to all these people, and I've always just thought why can't I be as elite as them? And basically have worked ever since I can remember, just had the expectations of myself as long as I can remember to get there. I grew up singing, dancing and acting as a child, and I was, in the limelight. I had experience on movie sets. I'd experience being lead character in some pretty decent pantomimes, lead character in some short films. I did a whole bunch of work, acting and singing, dancing my whole life. Through dancing, I was in a group and we did hip hop type dancing, and we got first in nationals multiple times. We were kids, but still that was a really good outcome. So being seen by people and having people sort of doing something that's a little bit what you could say out of the norm, because I'm from Adelaide in Australia, and doing that dancing stuff and doing the theatre type things and acting and being in front of a camera and getting on stage, people didn't really see as couldn't relate to it a lot, but some people did. And the people that did relate to it, every time that I would talk about anything or get excited to chat to someone about, it was really, really motivating for myself. And basically, that was a really awesome childhood. And then basically reality hit me in the face when I finished school and starting having to work, and I started working with my dad, and he works in sheet metal. And I remember just getting into I remember being in singing, dancing and acting. You're around girls all the time, and it was really nice, and everyone was always just so energetic and happy, and performing, so you get this great rush all the time. And then I ended up working in a what you could say, a sweat shed with a bunch of just other sweaty older dudes who just weren't really happy. And I was like, this is all things considering, this isn't as impactful or not what I was kind of put here to do. I've had this crazy taste of what I can make an impact. Later on, that was just for working for it. My dad in his position and actually running the business, I think, is actually great. And he does impact a lot of people, and he actually supports a lot of the economy of South Australia, so he can be extremely proud of that. But I didn't see that at the time. I always kind of wanted something more. So what ended up happening was, at the age of, it was right before finishing school, 15, 16, 17, dad ended up showing me how to lift weights. I remember I was used to get into acrobatics for dancing when I was younger, and all those acrobatics were handy. But I had this one lady once tell me on a tram, I was taking a tram stop. I remember with the tricking and the flips and acrobatics, I like doing salts, jumping up really high, doing backflips, doing front flips, all the good stuff. It was great. I had this one lady, she said to me on the tram, chilling, day to go to the beach, and it was a gorgeous sunny day, and I was just going down to the beach to do acrobatics with my friends, and this lady in the tram said to me, you should focus a lot on your kicking and a lot on your kicking tricks and things, because you're really skinny. And I've always had like you could say a muscle complex. I've always wanted to have like, what you could say is big muscles or something like that, kind of just to like have that confidence. I literally remember walking around parties like with my shoulders back and my chest out when I was young, when I had to meet people. I'd be like, hey, how you going? Like, just to try to make myself like appear bigger than what I already was. And then this lady was like, yeah, you're really skinny, so you should do a lot more kick flips, like kick type tricks with your acrobatics. And I said, no, I don't want to do those. And I was like, all right, that's it. I have to get into the gym and do something about it. So I just asked Dad, because he had his old weights, and it was a pretty good setup because he's like obviously sheet metal, so he's welded a whole bunch of things together. He had like a lat pull down, a bench, a tricep pull down, a whole bunch of weights, different grips. It was great. And I learned how to train myself in the gym. He showed me a couple of things, and it was away from there, and it kind of like took off. And that was the only thing that kept me sort of grounded. Gym really kept me grounded. I used to sacrifice a lot of other things sort of in life, or when I'd get down or I'd get told off about something, like if Dad wasn't happy with something or Mum wasn't happy with something, and I'd just go train. If I wasn't doing well at school, or if I got in a fight with friends or something, I'd just go train. I remember literally getting like emotional some of the first times I was in the gym. I'd get like extremely emotional whilst I was working out. I'd be like getting all emotional, and I like get all angry and like try to like punch things not hard, but I'd be like trying to express my frustration before actually like getting into a set of the gym. And just that kind of explosive energy was actually really helpful. And it was one of the only things that kept me grounded. Now, what happened, which was crazy, was that through my dedication to the gym, I started making some progress and learning from the best in the world. I was researching them like crazy. I learned all these gnarly skills. I'm really in touch with my body, and I learned like what angles and how to take the path of most resistance and how to design my own programs and do all these different things. And kind of as soon as I started training, I absolutely fell in love with it. And I decided like, I need to make a living out of this. I need to do something about this. And like I had this burning desire. I was like, I need to become pro. I'd look at all the pro bodybuilders, look at everyone else, and I was like, oh man, they look so good. Like, how can I ever get there? How can I ever get there looking at them? And I love the natural stuff, and I love the natural bodybuilders just for the aesthetics of the look. So, and my dad used to like beat into me, like, because he just knew nothing about like steroids and like how to do them properly. And he got pretty big himself. Like he was benching 150 kilos on the bench press for reps when I was younger, and which is like 315, 320 pounds, something like that. And so I looked up to him because he was like quite strong, and I was like, well, if he can do it, I can get there. So like, and if he can get strong like that, like why can't I? So I got completely dedicated, and saw these people. I always kind of thought to myself, I'm going to make something out of this. I need that in my life, and I want to look like these people, and I want to do it naturally. How do we do that? So I always knew that sort of sometime in my life I would compete, I would do something about it, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, so during this time of me deciding and completely falling in love with the gym and making the progress and learning all these things and having different connections with different people and meeting people in the gym and just having like the best time of my life, also come some of the worst things. I had some crazy breakups. Like, they say breakups make bodybuilders. I believe in that so much. But I had some crazy breakups. Like I remember being cheated on multiple times. I was super down. I had no clear direction of what I wanted to do after school. I was just working in a surf shop. Like I worked for my dad for a while, and then obviously found out that wasn't for me, and ended up working in a surf shop, and I was just training in a surf shop, and I was like, oh, I should probably start uni. I went to do aviation because I thought being a pilot would be awesome. Still think it would be awesome, but I wanted to be a commercial pilot mainly for the money, because I wanted the money to free me up for training. What I found out very quickly was that the lifestyle of a pilot is very difficult to be a bodybuilder. Like it's not going to happen. You're sleep deprived, blah. So left that and then started doing business, and I started studying business at uni whilst I was working casually, and I started doing really well at business. Like I was getting really good grades. It made a lot of sense to me. My dad owned a business, so things just, and there's a lot of theory and psychology stuff, and I love that part of the business. So I was just studying at uni and working casually in a surf store, not making much cash or anything at all. And I had some serious relationship problems. I was getting, cheated on a few times. I was completely in love with this girl and I couldn't shake it like at all. And the only thing that kept me sane was going to the gym. Like, that was it. The only way I could express my frustration, it was when I saw some of my friends. Like, the gym I had was also my own, by the way. We had like a shed that I was learning everything in. And that was the only thing that kept me sane. Anyway, we went through a really bad breakup. And it broke up over 3-4 months. And it kept going back and kept getting my little heart broken. And it was terrible. And during that time was when, whilst all of that was happening, was when I said, I need to do something about this. I need to prove to myself that I can fucking do it. So I was at I joined a gym during this time. So I had my own little shed gym, joined a gym during this time this whole breakup thing was happening. And some of my friends in there were like, wow, you've built a pretty decent body for someone who hasn't joined a gym, who's had their own gym. But I was like, look, my own gym was pretty good, not gonna lie. And I learned all these crazy different training styles and variations and routines myself, which worked. So anyway, so I had a lot of I'd go to the gym and a lot of people were like, man, I've been training for 5 years and look at you and look at me. What have you been doing? Train me. And I was like, I train my friends all the time in my gym. Of course I can train you and help you out, give you tips. I don't like being a PT. I just like training with people and helping them out, giving them the best advice, showing them some cool things and what actually works, which is a little bit different from the norm. And so back to it, got to the gym, I got all these compliments and all this really good feedback, and someone just said to me, I can't remember who, but they were like, you should really compete. Have you ever considered competing? And I was like, I would love to compete. I'd love to do the posing, I'd love to do everything else, because, a lot of it, being on stage and getting in front of people is very similar to dancing and acting and the things that I loved. And I was like, impact, inspiration, motivation, looks amazing. And so I ended up deciding, I was like, screw it. Some of my friends that were at that gym were competing, and I said, screw it, I'm going to do it too. Hell yes, I'm going to compete. And, lost a whole bunch of body fat. Always knew that I would one day, and abs started coming through. And I remember the first time I started seeing abs in here, I felt amazing. And it was one of the first times that, which I was like, whilst I had this breakup period where I was happy. And it wasn't for the sake of, I have a body and abs or anything. It was just a proving to myself that I could do something that was more important to me, or I could do something and actually achieve something that I like doing. And I apply this to all different aspects of my life now. But at the time, it was extremely, extremely refreshing to realise that. And so during that time, got the abs. Breakup was still happening, so I'd be like, crying, something's bad happening. Then I'd be in the gym, got a competition. They'd be like, crying, don't break my heart, leave me alone. Then I'm about eating, training for the competition, got a coach to help me out, and ended up competing in the under 21s at a natural bodybuilding competition. And I won, I think it was at 2 or 3 shows out of the 4, or 2 shows out of 3 that I competed on during that day. Got into the finals, didn't win because I was one of the youngest. And the guys looked phenomenal, can't put it past those, but ended up winning a whole bunch of my categories. And it was just crazy. From then I had this doubt, I had this huge doubt beforehand, on my shoulders, weighing me down, of I'm not good enough, I can't do anything, I keep getting break up with, I don't like my life, my where I am at doesn't help at all, maybe my training isn't that good, I don't know how to train properly, why am I helping other people, I'm not an inspiration, what I'm doing in my life sucks, and I can't get over it. And that just lifted everything off. Boom. I can do anything I put my mind to. I've done it 100 times before, and I realised I've done it with dancing, I've done it with acting, I've progressed every single way that I've had a clear direction, and I've followed the steps in order to get there. And I did that with the bodybuilding thing, and boom. And that just gave me this crazy confidence. It really helped me get over the breakup. It really helped me move on, because when you're young, 21 and emotional, hey, girls, break my heart. It really helped me get over that, which I thought was amazing. And I thought, well, I'm hooked. This is it. But obviously, after the comp, then the next hurdle come in. Boom. Depressed as. Put on weight. not a crazy amount of weight, but you just were not looking in this beautiful body that you had anymore. This is the rest of it. And it had this thing called post-comp blues, which is basically what kind of happens after any huge competition. Athletes get it when they compete and something crazy. Bodybuilders get it. People when they go on events, like let's say, I don't know, a friend of mine went on to Survivor and had this huge thing, and afterwards he got like post-comp blues from that as well. So it's a very common thing, and experience that. One thing as well, which I completely forgot, by the age of 5, 6 years old, I've always been reading health books and muscle books and watching superhero stuff, and I've always wanted to be the most healthy, optimal, elite person ever. I know I've said that beforehand, but I remember like throughout my whole childhood, I was getting like straight A's in health, even if it wasn't for anything else, because I was just always so interested in it at school and everything. Teachers would ask questions, help me be like, oh, I know that. Like I've always been completely obsessed with it. Anyway, so the age of 21, all this stuff sort of happened, and as well as teaching all myself everything, learning and training in the gym, and basically becoming a master of that and helping other people like just transform their bodies, like do these training techniques, try this is what's going to help you grow, this is the best type of thing, this is how to do it, this is how you stay motivated, and people just been like, look at all these muscles. Like all my friends that I've trained with have made crazy results. It's nuts. But anyway, as far as learning all that and becoming obsessed with that, I've also become obsessed with all the health side of things, the performance side of things, feeling your best. I was like, look, if I can do this comp and look this incredible, I can also do this, feel this incredible, not just outside my body, but inside my body, in my mind. So let's start working towards that. So I was obsessed after that first bodybuilding comp. Even beforehand I was with health and stuff anyway, but I just dove in. And just started researching all the greats, looking at all the just awesome things that the world has, all this crazy knowledge of our human bodies, and it is not out there and it needs to be shared. It needs to be shared so bad. And what I've basically done is through just a whole bunch of people that have helped, and through a bunch of learning, is it's taken me another 2 bodybuilding competitions. So I competed in the under 21s. I didn't compete again until I was 24. Then I competed again when I was 25, and then I competed again at 26 and turned pro. WBFF Pro, baby. Woo! That was huge. I had been busting my ass so hard to like get a pro. I've always wanted it, but I fucking got it. Anyway, so 21, obsessed with health, started applying all of that to myself and had all this knowledge. I was constantly helping people. Dishing out all the time. Social media, to my friends, whatever. They're like, you need to do this. Try this out. I was trying all these things, and people, my friends called up this thing, they used to call it Corey Facts, because I'd learn all these information. So I'd be like, oh, did you guys do this? And they'd be like, fucking bullshit. Fucking bullshit, you know that? That's a Corey fact. You're a liar. They're like, nah. And I was always trying to justify myself, and they'd be like, no, whatever, Corey facts. And I was like, yeah, I'll show you guys one day. So I ended up learning all this stuff like crazy. I had another bodybuilding coach, which is a close friend of mine, and we did this whole prep thing together. And then I thought, like, a lot of the time when we were going through, I was like, why don't I do this myself? Because we were talking, and all the science-based stuff I sort of knew. And I said, all right, for my next bodybuilding comp, when I'm going into this pro stuff, I'm going to apply all the crazy health stuff that I have learnt into my prep. I'm going to make it the most optimized thing ever, because I want to be optimized, and I'm doing it naturally, and I want to do it, I want to feel good, because during the bodybuilding competition preps and stuff, there's a lot of, like the last few weeks, you feel like shit. And I thought, and always kind of knew, that you could do this without feeling like shit. And yes, especially listening to some of the people in the industry, is the greatest. Ben Bukowski, what a god that guy is. Paul Chek, he's like Zeus. He is like a Zeus, and Ben Bukowski's that. Ben Bukowski he's another god. He's a Hercules. And partner's coming home, so I'll wrap this up quickly. But anyway, so yes, after researching all those people, I applied all this crazy stuff to my routine, and I had the best I've ever felt, looked the best I've ever looked, got that pro certificate, baby! Trained as hard as best than ever before, and then I started helping other people do it. We cracked the code. We have cracked the code with ABOUTWELLBEING health, like fitness, mental, the mindset stuff I go deep into. I research like crazy on philosophy and the dark side of the mind to turn yourself around, so when you do experience the dark stuff, you can get back into that good stuff and use that as for fuel. And all these things we've made we've made this step-by-step sheet. I have this hierarchy, which I'll speak in the next video, which will just blow your mind, so you gotta beware for that, as far as like what we actually do in the program to get people just like super optimized. And I tell you what, like this stuff is nuts. You can read one of my clients, Rob's like testimonials. He wrote this thing. I was like, dude, I need to write something, because this is just the best shit like I've ever experienced in my life. And I was like, thanks, bro, thank you. So yeah, look out for that. I'm going to put some of that stuff in the next episode, so beware for that. This is my first one. Huge welcome. Thank you for listening if you put this through. I'm trying the best that I can to be the best I can at everything. I'm currently at the moment learning how to do ClickFunnels, learning how to do e-com stores for a matcha brand because I love matcha and the health benefits for it. Again, obsessed with health. So I'm on this crazy entrepreneurial journey as well, and I'm just coaching some amazing people, and I'm so excited to share it with everyone. Please listen on. This is my journey, and be safe and big love, and thanks for tuning in. Bye.